podcast.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a
Podcast.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and
Podcast.
and I'm all out of bubblegum.
All right, in 3, 2, 1. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Get to the Podcast. My name is Tiago D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
And it's almost time for that turkey.
That turkey?
That turkey.
That turnkey?
Not turkey, turkey.
Yeah,
Like,
hey.
Wait,
It's-
is that turkey?
No, that's a
What?
rooster.
Did you just rooster?
That's a rooster.
Did you just do a rooster?
I literally have no
Gobble,
idea. I don't
gobble.
think
No,
I've ever
gobble,
seen...
gobble.
Oh, gobble, gobble,
Gobble,
gobble,
gobble, gobble. Come on. Wait, what's that movie? Gobble, gobble. Oh, it's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yes.
It's Grace from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She's at the Avis or the budget or whatever at the airport when he's renting the car. And she's on the phone.
yeah,
There's a
yeah,
big
yeah.
line of customers
That's when
waiting
he like
to see
drops
her.
all the F-bombs.
That's right.
It's like,
Gobble, gobble.
there's a lot of F-bombs in that movie.
There are. It's that whole scene. All the F-bombs are in that scene.
Are you guys excited? I'm excited
I
to
need
go
a
Viking on
car.
a turkey.
4 fucking wheels, huh?
I'm excited to go Viking on a turkey leg.
Viking on it. Oh yeah, yeah,
on,
big ass turkey
Come
leg.
on, big ass turkey
Oh,
leg.
man.
Arr.
But yeah, it's Thanksgiving.
It's Thanksgiving, and so today we're going to talk about films that you should watch during Thanksgiving. Films that are basically represented around Thanksgiving that come out during Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because
Or
there's not as many as there are Christmas movies.
No,
right?
there's not.
There's
Yeah.
not. Like you could probably name Thanksgiving films that you think are Thanksgiving, maybe
within one hand. Yeah.
on one hand or like two fingers.
Two
like
fingers,
like if
yeah.
I asked anybody, hey, name a Thanksgiving movie, they would be hard pressed. They'd be like, oh, I think this one and maybe that one.
Exactly.
You know,
and that
there's-
was just because there was a turkey in it.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah, so-
exactly. But we know a couple. We have a couple on our list, and we're kind
Yeah,
of just going to
Nick,
talk
you
about
brought
it,
a
get
list
him in the
for
mood.
us.
Yeah, we want to get you in the mood. Wanna yes.
Get your turkey leg on.
Wow.
Get your
Oh, I
turkey.
thought was that...
Yeah.
I just said get
Is
your
that
turkey
not the
leg
mood
on.
we were trying to get the audience into?
So Thanksgiving. I mean, Thanksgiving was never huge for me growing up.
Why?
Personally, it just never was. I think it's become bigger. You know.
Did
for
you
me
always
the
get the
last
wing?
few
That's
years.
why.
No. I just honestly, it just was for me. It was just I loved Christmas, and it was
Yeah.
just a springboard to Christmas.
Yeah.
And it kind of just came and went. It was about one dinner. There wasn't a lot going on. I didn't really make a big family thing of it. It's probably become bigger in the last couple of years.
That's
for
funny.
me.
It's the reverse for me. Like when I was younger, it was huge, and as I've gotten older, it's like,
Right. I guess because I'm like, I'm married now. I have a kid, and I don't know, something about that. Like, there's just
You want her
more
to
it.
experience everything.
Yeah.
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 But there's times on Thanksgiving where you might want to watch a movie, right? You could do a few things. One, you could watch the Macy's Day Parade
Yes.
in the morning.
Never watched
You haven't watched it? I used to go
I've
to
seen
it
it in
every year.
movies.
I lived 3 blocks.
I went to it.
I literally,
Oh, did you?
dude, I lived 3 blocks from it my whole childhood. So I would go every Thanksgiving. I would just wake up in the morning and I'd walk a few blocks. I'd get a hot chocolate from Dunkin' Donuts or a little deli, and I'd just stand and watch the parade. Back then,
You're so cute.
I'm a cute guy. But so you could do that at night. You could watch There's Always Football, Thursday Night Football on Thanksgiving.
That's true.
Yep, that's fine. Or you could watch a movie with the fam. You can watch a movie that's holidays themed, Thanksgiving themed, and we got a few movies.
I gotta say
put on
something
your list.
real quick.
Yeah.
I really do not like the fact that football is on Thanksgiving.
It's always been on Thanksgiving.
I know it's always been there. I
Yeah.
just never. I feel like that just separates the family a little bit.
Yeah, because not everybody wants to watch
Not
football.
everybody. Yeah,
No,
that's
but
true.
football's huge.
That's
I mean, a
true.
lot of people watch football. There's a lot of people in the
Yeah.
stadium.
I
There's a lot
love
of
football.
people.
Don't get me wrong.
Again, because I've never been huge on Thanksgiving, it's never been a big deal for me. And I do, and I love NFL games.
I find all of my Thanksgiving, it literally shuts down Thanksgiving because all the old dudes they're watching a thing, and like
Yeah.
everyone else, the children,
It's
and
true.
the other people that aren't interested.
Hey,
just
keep it
separate.
down back there. We're watching the game.
It's true.
It
So
just-
so
everybody's talking, having a great time, and then when that game starts, it's like
it's
over.
true. So
It's
let
over
me
Thanksgiving.
talk to the fellas for a second. Hey fellas,
Hey fellas,
don't watch football this Thursday.
How's that working out for you?
Don't
you
be a
can't
motherfucker.
ask
No.
football fans to not watch.
Don't do.
football.
Hey, watch the ESPN highlights later. You don't need to watch it. The family wants to hang out with you. Watch a movie together. Pick one of these movies.
That's their escape from the family.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Watch a movie that's going to, it's all about giving thanks, right?
Yeah.
And these movies are going to put you in the spirit. Each one of these films that we picked has
Wait,
this family. They have this family element that are, you may have shitty family, but they are your family.
So are we technically giving thanks to the Native Americans for giving us all that awesome land that we
with no struggle.
Far and away.
It was really
Tom
no
Cruise.
hassle for
They
us.
were just like, sure, take it. We've only been living here for 10,000 years.
Exactly.
No biggie.
So the coolest thing happened. So I just
And we gave them what? Sugar and tobacco?
Yeah, we gave them all that tobacco.
And
so,
sugar.
So I just
Yeah.
went to Puerto Rico.
No, they gave us tobacco.
No, they gave us to. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, they gave.
Yeah.
We gave them
Cigarettes
filters.
didn't
We gave them
exist.
filters and the
That was
chemicals.
the secret. That was
No,
their.
we took.
Oh, if you
We
think
just
about
took.
it, the tobacco
We
was
just
like
took.
they'll see the effects of this in the next 500 years. Like they're gonna get
We
it.
basically
They're playing
said
the long game.
we basically said focus here while we take here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
basically.
Kansas City Shuffle.
Talking about things,
just
even talking
showed
about
up with our
family, and,
diseases.
he's talking about family. Like the coolest thing just happened. I just went to Puerto Rico and I stayed with his family.
Oh yeah.
And so, like, this is so retro for me because you just don't hear about this happening. So we decided to all watch a movie, and the guy's son started texting. The dad paused the movie and turned to him and said, "We'll wait for you."
Wow.
I was like, "This
I
is
actually
some
want to
retro
do that
shit. I
every
love
time
that.
I'm with somebody watching a movie and they're texting. But
I love
I've,
that.
I've now been beaten down into submission. I'm just like I've
Neil.
been
Neil,
beat-
I've watched movies with you. You text sometimes.
No, I don't.
You're out of your ass right now. Okay.
If I'm
Is
on
that a
my
saying?
phone,
Is that a saying?
it's connected to the movie.
That's not true.
I'm looking up movie
What,
trivia. I'm answering movie questions having to do with the movie, and I'm just using the.
You
internet.
lie.
You
No,
biggest
it's
You
liar.
lie, good sir.
I don't do that.
You're not on it very much, but I've been trying.
I'm on, like,
a
the
couple
list.
times I was trying to show you a movie, and I'm like, this motherfucker's texting right now. This piece of shit. I'm trying to show him this goddamn movie. I wouldn't do that to him.
All right. Whoa. Okay, that's definitely not true.
But I thought that was the coolest thing.
That is
like
cool.
I have never,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in the longest ass time,
Yeah,
and that
it's
was
true.
pretty cool. But all right, so Nick, you got a list of films.
Yes. Okay. First film. This is the ultimate. I'm just gonna start it off with the best Thanksgiving movie of all time.
Best.
Okay, you're.
I don't know what one you're gonna pick.
Oh,
Actually.
you just trying to challenge me? Nobody likes you. Okay. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Great movie.
Let's talk
Great
about this
film.
for a second.
John Candy.
John Candy.
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin. There's so the movie is basically about Neil Page, which is Steve Martin's in New York. He's like an advertising executive, and he needs to make it back to Chicago for Thanksgiving. It's snowing, or it's snowing, or there's snow on the ground, whatever. It's just the holiday season, and he needs to make it back. And he's like trying to make this certain plane, and the plane basically has to make an emergency landing in a different airport or whatever, and then he gets stuck. He's just trying to make it fucking home for Thanksgiving. He's got about a day or two to go, and everything that can go wrong goes wrong. And he ends up meeting Del. What the hell's his name? I fucking forget his last name. Anyways, John Candy's character.
Del Griffith.
Del Griffith. There you go. And he meets him, and they basically team up to try and get home. But they're complete opposites. It's like an Odd Couple situation.
Yeah.
With travel involved.
Right.
And it's hilarious. It's a John Hughes film. Same guy that did Breakfast Club, 16 Candles. She's having a baby. Home Alone, Curly Sue, all of that. It's hilarious, but it has heart because that's
It's about friendship, yeah.
Yeah, but John Hughes is able to do that, and Neil Page really can't stand Del.
Yeah.
He really can't fucking stand him. And it starts to eat away, and he's kind of uppity. He's kind of like, stagnant, older guy who's lost. Yeah, workaholic, has lost that playfulness.
Isn't the
Del's
whole
just
reason-
a nice guy,
Yeah.
but there's these scenes. There's this one scene in it where they have to share a bed in a hotel room. It's a funny scene, but it's at the same time heartbreaking. Where Steve Martin, jumps up and gets really pissed at him and just basically berates him and goes off on him. And they keep cutting to John Candy's face, who's just taking this verbal abuse. And he's a nice fucking guy.
Yeah.
He's like a good guy, and he's just sitting there, and you can see he's tearing up a little bit. And then once Steve Martin stops berating him, John Candy's like, "You want to target me?" He goes, "You want to make fun of me? Fine, go ahead. I'm an easy target, but I'm not changing." And he like stutters a little bit, because you could tell he's trying to like compose himself.
Yeah.
I like me. My wife like me. My customers like me, because I'm the real article. What you see is what you get. And it's this, I could be a cold-hearted cynic like you. It's this scene, and this music starts playing, and you can see Steve Martin just feels like total shit. because
Yeah.
he just went off without any concern for the guy's feelings or anything.
And then
I will say-
it cut into his character and who he is, and it's that scene.
But I will
gets me.
say John Candy's character is like he's a nice guy, but he's also
the
like
annoying nice guy.
Yeah, what's that term for somebody that's like always creating problems? Like
no, but
the guy,
Nick.
the guy literally everything he puts himself in situations and makes decisions that end up creating catastrophic.
No,
It's called.
no,
it's
no,
called
that's
the
not
term.
solutions.
No, the term. But I know the term. It's called Nick, but that's not it.
Oh, yeah, nobody likes you either. Nobody likes either of you. Kill yourselves. No, but the thing is, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the whole thing is Dell is the one who keeps solving everything.
Yeah.
He solves like every situation.
After-
He's just
No,
messy and
he
he likes
he
to talk
does.
his ear
Yeah.
off. See, that's the thing. He's messy.
Yeah.
And he talks his ear off. That's actually the only thing. No, he's the one who keeps solving situations. Because it's basically like the gods are the one fucking everything up. The trains break down. The plane
That's true.
Goes down because of the weather. It's that kind of situation. He's always like, hey, I know a guy at a hotel that can get us a good deal on this. I know a car. He's the one who gets rental cars.
Yeah.
He's the one solving situations. And Neil is just so uptight. His name's Neil. He's so uptight that he keeps like almost like everything bad happens to him because he's so uptight.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and Dell, it happens, but he's kind of going with the flow. He's not angry. He's not that upset. And
The great thing about that speech that you're talking about is that Steve Martin, he just went on for like 5 minutes.
yeah.
And
Because
then,
you're like a chatty Cathy doll. You don't want to pull the string back. Rah, rah,
yeah,
rah.
yeah. And then John Candy just said like a 30-second statement to
Yeah.
him, and it just shut him down.
He did,
It
yeah.
just
Yeah.
shut him down. It was just, and it was like you said,
Because
it
that's
was
the thing
awesome
is
thing.
he
Yeah.
goes off on his character, and it's like one thing to be annoyed at something he's doing because they're trying to sleep in the bed, and Dell just keeps trying to clear his sinuses and coughing, and
Yeah.
he spilled beer on the bed, so they're in a wet, soppy bed. It's like it's annoying. It is fucking irritating. But what he does is he goes too far. He's not just like, hey, I'm angry, you keep being sloppy and all this stuff. He wants to basically
Destroy
cut
it.
into his character. Yeah, he's like I could withstand any sales seminar, the most boring sales seminar, and I could sit there for hours without flinching. And they would say, "How could you stand it?" And I'm like, "Because I've been with Dell Griffith." And they would say, "I know what you mean, the shower curtain ring guy, boy." And it's like he just like cuts into who he is, like at his core.
But in many ways, that's Thanksgiving, right?
I know that's the thing.
You're around family.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
That one
don't like
family
many
member
of
you
them.
haven't seen in a year, just to
It
say,
is.
every year they're like, hounding
Damn it,
you.
there's Uncle Joe.
How come you haven't this? How come you haven't
True.
that?
But here's a tip: if you're gonna tell a story, have a point. Like, it's just like he keeps digging into him, but he slowly. They're friend. It's not really a friendship. It's kind of like this
They need each
convenient
other or something.
convenient partnership duo.
Yeah.
He's kind of fucking stuck. He doesn't know what to do. He keeps calling his wife and from payphones, go, now I'm in this city, now I'm in this city, and he kind of teams up with him because he needs him. He needs help.
Yeah.
And he feels there's a couple points when he could have kind of like not teamed up with him, but then he felt guilty, so he kind of helps. So he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's just trying to avoid an awkward situation.
I was surprised. I had never seen it before, and then we watched it together, and it was a lot more serious than I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be just a straight
Comedy.
humor,
Yeah.
straight comedy, and then it got like serious
Yeah.
many times, and I was like, oh, this is like not. I mean, it's funny,
Yeah.
but it's also like a serious,
It's John
serious
Hughes.
drama.
John
Yeah.
Hughes adds those emotional elements to his film.
It's just holiday values.
Yeah.
It really is.
And-
It
and
takes you through the holidays.
What I love is that hopefully people who are listening to this have mainly seen the movie. It's the end really gets you. Like they finally kind of go in and out of quote unquote friendship or whatever that is. But at the end they really have grown together. They've been through a lot.
Yeah.
And when they're saying goodbye and he leaves him at the train station. He gets on the train and he's going home. And he starts to replay things that had happened, throughout the movie in his head. And he starts to put two and two together. And like where Dell would say things like, I can't wait to get home. And Neil would say, I can't wait to get home. And Dell would say, I haven't been home in years. And he goes, really? He goes, it's just a figure of speech. And then he was like, he talks about his wife. And he starts to put this together. It's like, this guy doesn't have anywhere he's going. You never know where Dell's going.
Yeah.
He never talks
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
He never talks about it. So then he gets off train. He goes back to the train station. He finds him still sitting there. He's not on a train. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And he goes, what are you doing here? And he goes, I don't have a home. And Marie, who he's talked about throughout
Yeah.
the movie, his wife, died like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's so emotional. And he brings him home with him. to meet his family.
Yeah.
And they're walking down the street with that big trunk, with, Dell's trunk.
It's dragging.
And that song,
Yeah.
every time you go away, you take a piece of me with you.
That's a solid. That's such a
it's
solid.
so
film.
good. But that
Yeah.
movie is, it tugs on the heartstrings, but it's funny at the same time. And
Yeah.
there's that funny scene with the girl at the car rental place where he drops so many fucks. Like there's like 20 fucks in a row.
Is it rated R?
It is a rated R because of that. Because of that scene.
Of
It was
that
almost
scene,
like they were like, we have to have this scene,
Yeah.
so we're just
Yeah.
gonna get the
Yeah.
R rating. There's not like nudity, I don't think.
Yeah.
Is there?
There's a scene in a cab where there's like a photo of a naked girl in the cab. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. What's interesting is that so John Hughes wrote this film.
Yeah, wrote and directed it.
Wrote and directed it, and then another film that John Hughes wrote also included John Candy.
Yeah.
Kind of not like a similar role, but like he's like on the road.
Yeah,
and-
it was exactly. And he also did Uncle Buck. John Hughes did Uncle
Okay,
Buck,
yeah,
which is also
yeah.
John Candy. No, he
Did
was
he
close
do-
friends. John Candy's death is actually a large reason why reportedly John Hughes left Hollywood. Because John Hughes, after 92's Curly Sue, stopped directing movies. He would write here and there, but he left the Hollywood scene altogether.
Oh,
and
wow.
when John Candy died in 93, he was kind of like, he felt like Hollywood just used and abused him until he was dead. Like they just used him up, chewed him up, and spit him out. And that's how he felt. Like there was no effort to care for the people, and he just didn't like the cutthroatness of everything. It was connected with a lot of other incidents, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that was a big thing. He was very close
Yeah.
to John Candy.
But yeah, it was Home Alone.
Did he
the
do
movie I was
Dutch?
referencing.
Yeah, Home Alone.
Did he do Dutch?
John Hughes wrote it.
John Hughes wrote
John
it,
Hughes,
exactly.
yeah.
Which is also, I think,
It's kind of a Thanksgiving
movie.
movie.
It is a
yeah.
Thanksgiving
Ed O'Neill,
movie.
that's actually
Yeah.
a good movie.
It's really good.
There's a kind of a mixed reviews on that in general, like when people look back on it. But that's a really good one. Ed O'Neill, and that's the kid from Empire Records, actually.
Ethan Embry.
Yeah, Ethan Embry. He was
yeah.
also Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he
Oh.
is this rich fucking kid, and Ed O'Neill, who plays his like stepdad or
Stepdad,
soon-to-be
yeah.
stepdad, has to pick him up from this prep school and bring him home to his
For
mom
Thanksgiving.
for Thanksgiving, and
Yeah.
the kid's like a total piece of shit. And it's this kind of planes, trains, and automobiles, mismatched
Road trip.
situation, road
Yeah.
trip
It is.
movie.
Yeah. So he
It's
did.
re-
Yeah, he did write.
Yeah,
it.
he wrote that one. He didn't direct it, I don't think.
No,
No,
he
he
wrote it.
didn't
It was,
direct
it was
I
directed
knew
by
he
the
was
guy
part
that
of it.
did Crocodile Dundee, actually.
Oh, really?
I forget what his name is, but same director.
It was
Yeah.
the same storyline, same story.
A
Plot.
similar, yeah, and you could feel like the similarities in it. But I
Yeah.
love that movie. Dutch is great.
Yeah.
That's another Thanksgiving movie.
They strapped him to the hockey stick, and he walks around with him. Like he can't get him to come, so he ties him to a hockey stick, and he carries him by carrying the hockey stick. Yeah.
All right, what you got? What's
Okay,
next?
all right. So that's that one, and the next one is this is Miracle on 34th Street. Now you could say the original Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah, I was gonna say which one.
I say let's talk about the newer one, which is also written by John Hughes. Written and produced by John Hughes.
They're
the
both
remake.
great. They're both really
They are
good.
both great. They're actually
Yeah.
decidedly different.
They
They're,
are.
They're different movies.
Yeah.
They have a different.
One is like
almost-
a prior to certain events, and the one.
No, they both take place at the same time. They start with the Thanksgiving Day parade. They go through Christmas. It's the same concept. A guy named Chris Kringle becomes a Santa's, a department store Santa, and but he really thinks he's Santa. And he keeps telling people that, and they think he's crazy. And certain rival department stores kind of try to send people in there to mess it up and to get him committed and stuff like that. But there's a lot of additional things in the original one that aren't in the new one, and they kind of veer a little bit on their general setup. And also at the end, there's a courtroom scene where he's being sued or whatever. Anyways, they have to convince the jury that he's Santa,
That he really
which is
is.
a crazy concept, but it's done really well. In the original one, the lawyer tactic is different from the later one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The original one actually is better. Like the ending and the way that they convince them is better. He's like, okay, so if the whole concept was if the post office is a federal, a government agency or whatever, and whatever it says would be law or considered true, all these letters that were written by kids to Santa Claus were being delivered to Chris Kringle in jail. I guess he was in jail or whatever, and they're all being delivered by the post. They would get it in the post office, and they would just ship it to him.
Right.
So he's like, okay, so through that, then he must be Santa.
Right.
Santa,
Like,
yeah.
like
Arriving
the,
to
the
him.
court has to acknowledge this, and I was like, "That's cool." At the end of the newer one,
It's more of an
it was
emotional.
they had little girl Mara Wilson, who was in Mrs. Doubtfire and
Yeah.
Matilda.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
walks up to the judge and she gives him like a $1 bill, and on the $1 bill she had circled "In God We Trust,"
Yeah.
which is on a federal bill.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was this concept that God, which is something that we believe but we don't necessarily see.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
something you feel or a spirit of something. And
Like Santa Claus.
Yes, and it's on our dollar bill. So if you can acknowledge that, then you can acknowledge that. It's still a cool
Acknowledge
concept. I like that they didn't just use the post office thing like they did in the original one. They switched it up, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
But in the what I really like about the 94 one, and I watched this again a few months ago or maybe last year, I love Richard Attenborough's
Attenborough, he's
portrayal of
fantastic,
Chris Kringle.
yeah.
Him, he's
Yeah.
Jurassic
John
Park.
Hammond.
Yeah, it's John Hammond from Jurassic
John
Park.
Hammond,
Welcome
yeah.
to Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
But he's Santa.
Yeah.
And he's great in it.
Yeah.
He really is good. And there's this scene that's such a tearjerker. Like you could just watch the clip on YouTube. They have it as an isolated clip. Yes, this mother brings her daughter, this pretty little girl in this dress and little bow, and she places her on his lap, and she says,
She's deaf.
He says something, and she goes, she's deaf. You don't have to speak to her. She just wanted to see you.
Yeah.
And his face, he's not
His
hurt,
wrist,
but
yeah.
he's like really understanding, and there's this little sympathy, and he looks at her, and you don't know what's going to happen next. She's kind of smiling at him, and then he starts signing.
Yeah.
He goes, "Hi, you are very beautiful.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. What do you want?" And she goes, "Thank you." Like she starts doing it back. But what's cool is that scene, she was a real deaf child, and
Yeah.
she had no idea he was going to sign, and he learned sign language
For the scene.
for the scene.
Yeah.
To be able to speak with her, and anything she would say, he'd be able to respond properly with, and she had no idea. So when she lights up and smiles once he starts signing,
It's all, yeah, natural.
it's a real reaction.
Yeah.
And I love that scene.
Yeah.
It's
Anyways.
crazy.
But yeah, the
You're
reason
so like warm-hearted during the holidays.
I
The
am.
rest of the
I-
year you fucking suck. But.
I do love the holidays.
This is when Nick opens up.
I do, yeah.
His weakness is out. Get him, Neil.
It is true though.
This is when you should attack.
I'm a softie. But no, there's the. It starts with Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving Day Parade. You know,
Yeah.
the Macy's
Yeah.
Day Parade in New York, and there's a drunk Santa Claus, and he basically gets mad at him, and he takes over the Santa Claus suit, and just by happenstance, by happening to be there, he becomes Santa in the parade. And then from there, they hire him for the department store or whatever.
I remember, like, when I watched these, the thing that always attracted me to the two films was the it's like there's this heavy commentary on the commercialization of the holiday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole aspect of the film, like the greedy corporate,
Yes.
business owners. And it even starts with Macy's Day Parade, and like, Macy's is a department store, and they're kind of like awful people,
Right.
that are like just trying to like pull in customers during the holiday season, so they buy, and nobody cares about the whole reason that you're even celebrating the holiday.
Right.
But I thought that was an interesting and even in the original, I mean, back in the 40s when the original came out, it was like the exact same thing was occurring.
Yes.
The same thing was occurring in 1994. Same thing that's going to occur this year that occurs every year, which is like you get bombarded with all this advertising to purchase items.
Purchase, yeah.
Buy this thing for your loved one. Buy that thing for your loved one. It's not really
Right.
the
Exactly.
purpose of Christmas.
Right. It's more about the spirit of Christmas.
Right.
Like that's the whole thing. And that's what I like how they don't ever really. There's not any supernatural elements to this film. A lot
No.
of these movies that would involve, Santa Claus or whatever would have a supernatural element, a flying reindeer, whatever.
Yeah.
That's not what this movie's about.
Oh yeah,
You don't even know if
it
he's
could
really.
end with him going into an insane asylum.
At the end, you
for all
don't
we
even know.
know.
Yeah. At the end, you don't really know, but you just believe.
Yeah, it's
I think the
about-
whole film took it to where you just believe.
Yes.
Right.
And,
And that was the whole
and
feel
it could
of it.
connect it to a real world situation.
Yeah.
Where it's like, is it about this guy has magical powers and he flies through the night with reindeer and delivers presents? Is it about that, or is it about something else?
Right.
And that's kind of what it brings it to this grounded reality. It's like there is such thing as belief and faith. Like,
Right.
that is a thing. And some people, there's these arguments out there, not to get into a heavy thing, but like, is religion, like, who cares about religion? Who cares about, like, oh, I can't believe you believe in some wizard in the sky. And who are we to judge somebody else's faith or belief if it makes them a better person or helps them believe in something better, if it helps them be positive? Preach. But why do we have to question
true.
that?
It's
Like, if
true,
somebody
yeah.
goes, there's Santa Claus, there's such thing as a Christmas spirit, and is nicer during the holidays, and is charitable and generous and helps other people and does this stuff. If it works, it should be results-based. You should look at
Right.
things and say,
Yeah.
does this work? Does this actually make somebody better? If it does, then why are we questioning it? Who cares with the method, as long as they're not harming people and it's helping them improve? And that's
Right.
kind of the concept of Miracle on 34th Street. It is, hey, this guy's a symbol of something.
Yeah.
He inspires something, and who knows
but
if he's
Nick,
really Santa Claus?
There's truth, and then there's not truth, and some people have to have one or the other. They can't fall in the middle.
Yes, there's no shades of gray.
There's no shades.
It's all black and white.
It's all.
No, there's 50 shades.
There's at least 100 shades.
Yeah.
When I'm involved.
No, that's
all-
so true. I mean, I hate the fact that it's not about gift. It's just about. I love the fact, like I said, when I went to Puerto Rico and I spent time, it was such a family moment,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's what I love experiencing during the holidays.
Yeah.
And to sit there and watch a feel-good film with your family kind of brings back to the root of people being family,
Right.
and kind of throwing away. Yeah, I might have quarrel with Uncle Joe or quarrel with Aunt Louise, whatever. But right now, it's family, you
Right.
know, and so that's what the holidays are for, and that's what Thanksgiving is for.
Exactly,
So,
and exactly, and it doesn't have to be a once a year thing, but
Yeah.
it is nice that we do have these milestone points in the year that help us
You know-
remind us.
You know who you sound like? You sound like Bill Murray.
I know,
from
it's Frank
Frank
Cross,
Cross.
doesn't he? Frank Cross.
Yeah.
And it's
not a sham!
And he goes, these people who say it's Christmas just once a year, it's a crock.
It's a crock. He's like, I feel it now. I'm ready for it.
And when you feel it, you get greedy for it.
You want
and
more.
you want it every day.
His face during that shot was
I love
hilarious.
it. We're gonna be talking about that movie soon.
Movie
Yeah.
gets, that scene every time. It just gets me.
Dude,
It gets me.
that's my favorite Christmas movie of all time.
You know-
I love that sign he has in his office because his name is Frank Cross, and
Yeah.
on the sign in his office is Cross, noun, a thing you nail people to.
Yeah, you know the film that I was just actually going through all the Thanksgiving films that I didn't think it was a Thanksgiving film until I just remember is You Got Mail.
Oh
yeah. I like that movie.
Yeah,
Actually,
I actually did.
It's in the
Tom Hanks?
the long line of Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan movies.
Yeah. How many movies? They did Joe versus the
Joe,
Volcano.
three. They did Joe versus the Volcano,
Yeah.
Sleepless in Seattle,
Yeah,
You Got
Sleepless in
Mail.
Seattle, that was
yeah,
the one,
and You've Got Mail was also a Nora Ephron movie who did Sleepless in Seattle, wrote When
Yeah.
Harry Met Sally.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I love You Got Mail. That's a great. I really enjoyed that movie. I don't know, something about it.
I think people just got caught up in Sleepless in Seattle, thought it was like basically the same thing.
Yeah, they're
and
not.
it really was not. Yeah,
But I personally would take When Harry Met Sally over any of those movies.
yeah, that's true.
I love that movie.
Sure.
Directed by Rob Reiner.
yeah.
Okay, so the next movie on the list. Speaking of, our next movie is Home Alone.
Yeah.
Now, you might stop and you go, that's not a
That's a
Thanksgiving
Christmas movie.
That's a Christmas movie.
It
you,
is a Christmas movie.
You asshole. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why are you
Yeah.
calling me an asshole?
Why'd you say it all weird?
Yeah,
I don't know. I
It
felt
was like an accent.
It was like a German Austrian
asshole.
hybrid.
That's what it was.
you asshole.
I feel like those are the only people who attack me verbally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
What, Germans?
No, Germans are the
What?
least aggressive
What?
culture on the planet.
I'm just trying to add some explanation to
We love our German listeners, if there are.
I was just reading an article yesterday. Germans, I'm going
Wow.
to give it to you right now because I just read an article yesterday about a city. You guys have one of the most innovative cities in the whole entire world. It's like all made out of like solar panels and
Oh,
stuff,
wow.
like
Oh,
how
no.
they regulate. There's no cars going into the central city. You must use a bike. It's phenomenal.
This is
It's
Diego doing
crazy.
like PR crisis control. Like he's just like,
Yeah, this is
I
just
was
my
like,
change of
I was like,
subject
the
real quick.
Germans are the only one to attack me. He's like, Germans have one of the most innovative cities.
They're the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I
Germans
have
are
a
the
German
best.
dude. I have a German car, a German engineering man, VW. It's great.
I have a Volkswagen
Yeah.
too. So.
I wear German shoes.
Love
and,
you guys.
I have a German haircut.
You guys also have the best snow during the holidays.
German eyes.
Augustus Gloop was my favorite character in
know.
Willy Wonka.
All right, enough
I
PR.
love Augustus Gloop.
All right,
And
enough
Hans
PR.
Gruber.
Enough
Hans
PR.
Gruber.
I wish he was on a beach earning 20%. Okay,
Enough PR.
but back to Home Alone.
I want to go to Germany and watch that Die Hard with Germans and just watch them root for Hans.
There's a different edit there where he wins.
Yeah,
John
You just
McClane
go-
gets dropped off the building.
That would be amazing if they did that with films. They
Right.
created multiple versions.
That would
for
be
different
amazing.
cultures.
every
That'd be
every
Well, they
country has
kind
a
of
different
do.
version of it. Yeah.
That'd be so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, but Home Alone, though it's not like a strictly Thanksgiving movie, it doesn't take place on Thanksgiving. It takes place during the holiday season, right? And it actually doesn't start on Christmas or begin on Christmas. It ends on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
So everything leading up to it is the
Yeah.
holiday season. And the thing is, on Thanksgiving, especially if you're watching the movie maybe after your Thanksgiving dinner, it's nighttime. Thanksgiving is like a springboard into the holiday season. It's the beginning of the holiday season.
Right.
And we thought watching a movie like Home Alone would get you into that spirit.
Correct.
And Home Alone is about, you may not completely love your family. May not like your family, but you probably love your family. You know, it's this weird thing where you can't really hang with you don't want to hang with them. You're forced into this situation. It's kind of this reluctant, got to be with these people. But when it all comes down to it, when push comes to shove, those are the people that are going to be there for you. You know, those are the people you're going to love. It's this weird dynamic.
You are way too fucking emotional in this podcast, bro. What is going on, Nick?
Get ready, because December's going to
shit.
be a motherfucker.
Oh, this is going to be sentimental podcast?
But it is. Even Buzz, which is, it seems like the bane of his existence. At the end, they kind of, connect. This is his brother.
He has some humility, yeah.
Yeah.
Buzz does.
That's what I'm saying. Buzz does. But even Kevin is like, Merry Christmas, Buzz. There's this connection to your family that is unwavering despite all the bullshit.
You can't be a piece of shit forever.
Yeah, you can.
But friends may come and go, even your closest friends. We'll probably not be talking in about 5 to 10 years, but
wow.
there's that cynicism.
This got dark.
There's that cynicism.
Wait, is that because I'm going to be dead?
There's Nick.
Wow, if I were a betting man. No, but that's the thing.
I
Home
found
Alone.
you, Nick.
Home Alone is about, hey, you're here with your family. Maybe these are family
Wait,
members.
can I do one more line?
Sure.
There you are, Peter. There you are, Peter.
But so here you are with your family, maybe family members you don't see very often, and you're kind of together.
Yeah.
And this is a unifying film. It's a family film. And again, written and produced by John Hughes.
It is a perfect springboard because the majority of the film is building up to Christmas.
Yes.
So it's not like a film that takes place on Christmas Eve or something like that.
It's a season. It's just the holiday seasons.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, oh, and Halloween's over, it's the Christmas season. Not really. I mean,
It really isn't. You don't put the Christmas tree
once
up
the
until
Thanksgiving holiday has ended, it's now most people now consider that Christmas. The companies don't.
Right.
They're like,
they're
trying
trying
is
in
Christmas.
June to start
Oh
selling
yeah,
shit.
yeah. There's Christmas music playing at the stores in July.
No, yeah, I believe that after Thanksgiving is when it really starts. That's when I get my Christmas tree. That's when I start playing music. I play music. I play Christmas music. I play that Mariah Carey song from Love Actually. I do
good
that.
song.
It is. I'm not cynical about Christmas in any way, shape, or form. I really. I love it because I'm critical and cynical
if you think
throughout
about
the
it,
year.
If you live in like an area of the planet where there's 4 seasons, fucking winter sucks, man. It's cold as shit outside. The leaves drop. It's you spend a huge amount of your time indoors.
Yep.
And then having this amazing holiday that everybody has created into this very fun time. Makes it okay.
It makes the weather worth it. Like that cold weather just
and you,
adds
and
to the
you
spirit.
somehow,
You don't want a warm Christmas.
Yeah, the cold weather almost signifies the goodness.
Yes.
That the pleasant experiences of
that
the holiday.
crisp air, Yeah, there's something about that. Now, I'm sure there's people listening
Are
to
you
this
guys
podcast
hating
that-
on cold weather?
No. Well,
Wow.
in general, I'm okay with cold weather. I know.
like cold weather?
Neil
I
doesn't.
love cold weather.
I like cold weather too, but I'm just saying it does make it better.
It does. I think,
because of the
I think
season.
because you are inside, the only thing that you are inside so much and you can't go outside socialize, you socialize with the people that are in your house and the social.
Right.
And so it becomes, I think it opens up, I think it's like a prep for next year where it opens up the communication in your house with your family.
Yeah.
That's in there. So, I mean, I think that's what I like. I like winter because I think people go back to their humanity and talk more to people.
Yeah.
And socialize more. I mean, you can say that about summer, the same thing, but
People
but I think
move away, and then the holidays, people generally
Everybody
comes back to
Yeah, 'cause
family
there's-
or friends, and
Because there's two events that
they
kind of
reconnect.
there's two events that kind of bring people together. I mean, you have let's not forget there's Hanukkah and so on. Not everybody celebrates Christmas. And there's other not just Hanukkah and Christmas. There's
what is the
what Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa?
Yeah,
Kwanzaa.
there's just other things as well.
Just a
And some
holiday
people don't
season.
celebrate any of that stuff, but it is a spirit in the air of coming together.
Well, that's the thing. Even though it's Christmas is
There's a
technically a
place
Christian
in
holiday.
your heart,
I actually know.
and I know
I know
that
several
it
people that are
is
Hindu
love
that still kind of
space.
celebrate a little bit of that. The festivities associated with Christmas, even though they're not Christian.
Right.
It's
Some-
almost like this. It's almost like a non-denominational thing, even though it's supposed to be celebrating Christ.
Because
But-
we're so emotional.
I'm not. I mean, I went
Right
to
now,
Catholic school for years, but I don't celebrate it as a Christian, Christian holiday. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I just think it's to me it's a humanity holiday. It's
Yeah.
the season, the humanity season, because people do feel like they need to give more, they need to be a better person.
Right.
And that's what it's not, to me it's not about the religion aspect of the holidays. To me it's about that people actually think about humanity during
Right.
the
Yeah,
season.
think about
they
someone
think
other
about
than
doing
themselves,
something good.
yeah.
There's more people putting coins in a poor man's cup during the holidays.
Exactly.
There's any other time of year.
It's true. It is
So,
about that.
Yeah, it is totally about.
Yeah, you do things. You buy presents for poor families. Like there's all these different
Correct,
drives.
yeah.
Like I'll see a thing. I'm like, oh, I can grab this tag and just buy this present for this
Yeah.
person. It's cool to be able to just
Toys for Tots.
There's Toys for Tots.
yeah.
But no, I did this other thing. There was this thing last year. I don't know. It was this big Christmas tree. I don't remember where it was. Big Christmas tree, and it had all these different tags on it, and you could basically just pull one of them, and you can adopt that thing, and you decide I'm gonna send presents to this one. It has an address, and the whole thing,
Oh,
and
nice.
then what their kids looking for poor families, and the kids don't need toys.
Yeah.
It's not Toys for Tots. It was a different program.
it was a different program,
It was a different
yeah.
program, but it was a similar thing, and you
But
and you
people
actually
can
get
get
it, and you
behind
and you mail it to them.
Yeah, I don't know. People
Yeah, there's
people
something
have a
about that.
lot like people aren't cool with the idea of like Christmas morning a child waking up and not receiving some sort of,
Yeah, for kids
gift.
specifically,
It's an odd thing. It's not a particularly logical thing, but it's cool. If you grew up in a family where you received some sort of like cool, surprising thing on Christmas morning, and you have all these like pleasant memories associated with that, you don't want another child to grow up without that experience.
Exactly, because for me, when I was growing up, we weren't rich. We didn't have money really at all.
Yeah.
But
we
Christmas
still are
morning there were always plenty of presents.
Yeah.
And my parents just somehow figured it out. You know what I mean? Between grandparents and just whatever they did, we were like flooded with presents.
Yeah.
I didn't get shit the rest of the year, but on Christmas,
I got bread.
no, literally, like on Christmas morning. No, like seriously, it was like, oh, that $5 toy is too expensive. It was like really.
It was like a Christmas Carol,
Yeah.
where you got like a loaf of bread, or you got turkey or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But in on Christmas morning, we always had plenty of presents. So I do like the idea of, because especially if these kids are poor or these families are poor and the kids don't get a lot of things throughout the year, that one day, it's not spoiling them. If they have one day where they can have joy from having these things to have fun and games with. Like fun and games is a great spirit to be in. It kind of just fosters that.
I think this is what movies do for you during the holiday, is that they inject you with that goodness. You know, you see these good, these feel good films, and they just inject you with like good scenarios.
Right.
Because unless you're watching Rocky and Polly,
Throws the turkey out the door.
Yeah,
Hey, you want a turkey? You want a turkey?
He's an alcoholic, though. I mean,
Oh, he was. That was the problem.
He was an alcoholic.
I
yeah.
will say the holidays do bring out the alcoholics. I'm just gonna.
They do.
Oh, and Rocky did
We're
not.
making it. We're painting everything to be wonderful and
The
beautiful.
eggnog.
But,
What's
that
crazy
eggnog,
is Rocky
that's
didn't.
spiked eggnog.
And actually, I forgot the name of it, but Germans have a drink that's similar to eggnog, which is actually phenomenal.
All right, on the
Is it
Germans
better than-
already.
It is.
better than
I think it's better
Germans
than
are killing
that.
it.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Yeah.
Oh, you can make jokes like that.
That wasn't a pun. That wasn't a pun. Oh my god. That was a total mistake. I didn't mean to.
Oh,
Once I said that,
you're like, oh shit, Nick's gonna jump on that one.
I didn't. I was like, oh, I instantly regret this.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Well, I won't do it. But okay, going back, obviously it all starts with Turkey Day, right?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving and Home Alone. We talked quickly about that. It's a holiday movie. It's not Thanksgiving, but it does have the same spirit of what Thanksgiving's about. And but it's a great movie. Everybody's listening to this probably seen the movie.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Harry and Marv,
I mean, it was-
Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci are fantastic in
Yeah,
it.
Macaulay Culkin's great.
Macaulay Culkin's
Yeah.
great, and he got that role for that movie because of Uncle Buck. He was in Uncle Buck, which came out a year earlier,
Yeah.
which John Hughes wrote and directed, and he has he's one of the kids, but he has a scene where he's grilling John Candy, and it's this interrogation scene, and he's quick. He's really quick, and John Hughes was like, this kid's great. Anyways, they ended up I think, basically writing the movie for him.
Yeah, and I don't think that they expected it to be as big a hit as it ended up becoming. I mean, it was in theaters for over a year and did like half
it
$1
was
billion
huge.
or
Yeah,
something.
it's like
Like outrageous for the time.
Yeah, Kevin McAllister slapping his hands to his face became like iconic. Like,
Oh my God, like-
Didn't it
with
also
the
have one of the
aftershave.
biggest DVD sales?
Oh, VHS?
VHS. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Probably, most likely. I bought it. I mean, I had it.
Yeah, we had it. Yeah, we had it.
Yeah. Anyways, I love it, but
And
it's
then
not
Talk
just
Boy.
yeah. The second
still have
one.
my
And the
Talk
second-
Boy.
yeah, it was the biggest selling toy of that year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I actually looked at it recently. But
Like me and all of my friends got that.
yeah, I had it too. They had Talk Girl too for the pink one for the girls. Talk
Yeah.
Girl. They had a
Oh,
Talk
did
Girl.
they come out with the Talk Girl?
They first the Talk Boy, and then shortly after the Talk Girl came out. It was a
Wow.
pink one. But anyway, so the first movie, it's Chris Columbus directed it, who also did the first couple Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
And he I don't know. It's such a warm movie. It's funny.
is.
But they also cast these two villains perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern,
Daniel Stern,
Harry and Marv. They're hilarious.
Which is odd for Joe Pesci specifically because he's played so many dark, serious
I don't know if he's in
roles.
anything other than rated R movies before that. And even the scenes where he's muttering.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was cursing during those scenes. And Chris Columbus was like, dude, this is a family-friendly film. You can't curse, so you're going to have to figure out a different way to be angry.
Yeah.
So he started
But how did they convince him to be in this movie?
I don't know. Maybe he had kids at the time or something like that. He's like, I need to do a movie for my kids.
Maybe he just wanted to do something different.
I've been like beating people to death in too many movies.
Dude, Goodfellas had just come out. Like he probably needed to lighten
Joe
it up.
Pesci said,
true.
"Wait, I get to beat a kid."
They're like, well,
You're trying to
Not
murder
really.
a child this whole movie, and he's like, I'm in.
Yeah, you could literally pitch it to
They
him.
sold him by saying, "You get him in the end."
But what's great is in the second movie, which is almost as good as the first one. I mean, the first one's like a classic. Second one's real. It's either the same level or slightly below, but it's fantastic. It's all subjective. It's a really good sequel, and what I love is they didn't switch up the bad guys. They could have done that. They could have brought in different bad guys. Like, oh, let's have them in a different scenario with different bad guys. No, they brought them back, and they're just as good in the second one as they are in the first one.
There's so many great moments in that set. Oh, my God.
That brick throwing scene.
wow.
I remember I was in Times Square watching this movie in theaters in New York. And it's a movie about a kid lost in New York.
He's always in Times
I know. I'm
Square.
always
I feel
in
like
Times
every
Square.
childhood movie came out the same
Dude,
year in
they
Times
were-
Square.
they
I feel like we need to start
Dude,
this
there were-
podcast with previously.
There were
at
7
Times
theaters
Square.
in Times Square. So, like, odds are that's where I was seeing a movie.
That's true.
I saw it in the National Twin Theater in Times Square. Anyways, but there's that scene where he's throwing the bricks. I was losing it. I remember my side splitting.
Is that all you got? And he would just like dodge it into him in the face.
Come on, kid.
You don't have those guts.
One brick, his
Would've killed him.
skull would just crushed.
From the roof.
Solid.
From the
Solid.
roof. And by the way, real quick, I've been on New York
Don't
City
throw
roof.
bricks at anybody,
Yes.
children.
Also, if you're on a New York City roof, you're not having a simple conversation like that with the bad guys. You're yelling for them to hear
Oh,
you.
yeah.
They're talking as if you and I are talking right here.
Come
it's
on,
not
kid.
realistic.
Come on, kid. What
Is
do you
that
got?
all you
well,
got?
I mean, then there's that scene where he gets electrocuted on the at the utilities thing.
He's
like,
covered in
"Ah!"
paint. He's covered in paint.
Yeah, and it's like his whole body turns into like skeleton with hair. Like it was a skeleton with hair.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that was
It was
awesome.
great.
That was a
good.
great
That
film.
it was good because it didn't feel like, though it was a rehash of the first film.
Yeah.
It felt like all new quote unquote tricks. Like
Yeah.
and there were things like even a couple scenes are like, oh, I remember this from last year. He's trying to do the exact same trick, but it's not.
And then they
it's being
changed it
fine.
up.
He
Yeah.
switches it up. Plus,
Yeah.
it was like in an abandoned building that in New York City. He goes into Central Park. There's the Bird Lady, which is basically like the old guy from the first one. Anyways, yeah. So there you go. Hold up. We've been on this one for about 40 minutes.
We have.
We kind of derailed a little bit into Christmas.
We were
well,
all
that's
over
what
it.
you do with
Feelings.
Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a transition.
We went
It's a
into feelings.
derailment into the.
It's a derailment
Christmas.
into Christmas.
But we
yeah.
cannot leave this podcast without one of the most famous Thanksgiving films of all time,
Dun dun.
a Charlie Brown.
Thanksgiving. Yes.
Good.
Good one.
Yeah,
I like Charlie
what do you
Brown
mean?
Christmas more.
What would you say?
I was more of a Charlie Brown Christmas
Me too.
guy.
Me too.
You know, with that shitty tree that
What's
was like
fu-
all,
Yeah.
you know, sad.
What's funny is, I mean, a lot of those Peanuts cartoons felt the same. I mean, they're very similar.
They're
Those
literally
two.
like you can't separate episodes because
Yeah.
they're.
It's just Charlie
all
Brown
like the
walking
same.
around being depressed.
Yeah.
And,
And
it's
Snoopy
very-
doing something random.
Yeah, what's funny about those cartoons, the way they felt.
I love the music though in the Christmas one.
Yeah, the jazz, which they use some of the same music in the Thanksgiving one too,
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah, it was-
I feel like I've only seen that one time, and I can't remember
the
much
Thanksgiving
from
one.
it,
Yeah, you can actually watch it on YouTube. I
Yeah.
believe they actually played the whole thing on YouTube.
Oh, did
Like,
somebody?
on their not even like part. I think it's on their official like Snoopy's
Oh, nice.
YouTube channel. I think they play the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I love Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. I don't have a lot to say about it other than it's if you like Charlie Brown Christmas, Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, it's about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a simple little thing.
I just think it's one of those traditional films that people like. I watched it almost yearly for a long time. Every year when it came out, Charlie Brown
really?
Thanksgiving and Charlie Brown
Christmas.
Yeah, I watched it.
I think I've
yearly.
seen the Thanksgiving one like once or twice. I don't think I mean, Christmas one I've seen a bunch, but I feel like the Thanksgiving one, I don't remember it being played on TV a lot.
Yeah, it was played every year.
Was it?
Every
Okay,
year.
all
That's
right.
what I'm saying. Every year they play that.
Well, I didn't have
every year.
cable, so
Yeah. Well, that sucks for you.
yeah, I told you.
Not anymore, right?
I was poor. Feel
Yeah.
sympathy for me. Anyway,
Had antennas, Diego.
But we did have one. We had 2 other ones on the list, but I think one of them was. I'll just quickly mention this one because I feel like a lot of people haven't seen this. It's not really my favorite, but it's definitely a Thanksgiving movie. Home for the Holidays.
Yeah.
Directed by Jodie Foster. It has.
Jodie Foster directed that.
Yep, she directed it. Yeah, she's not in it at all. She just directed it, and it's got Holly Hunter, Robert Downey Jr., Charles Durning, Anne Bancroft, Dylan McDermott. It's a good movie. Claire Danes is in it. It's a good movie. It's very much. It all takes place on Thanksgiving, from Thanksgiving morning to Thanksgiving night.
I remember it being like a it's like a drama.
Yeah,
it has dramatic elements.
It's a
It's got
family
dramatic
drama.
elements in
Yeah.
it, but at the same time, it's very much a comedy. Oh, Steve Guttenberg's in it.
Yeah.
It's very much a comedy. And it's really more comedy. Even the dramatic moments are kind of comedic. It's about dysfunctional family. It's a very dysfunctional family, but it's not crazy, angry dysfunctional. I mean, it is to some degree, but Robert Downey Jr. Improvised a lot of his role. He's kind of like the crazy brother. And apparently, this movie he credits with reinvigorating his love of acting because he was allowed to improvise, whereas everybody else was keeping the script. Jodie was like, "You could just go with this."
Yeah.
And he just went kind of nuts with it, and he just loved it. So, anyways, that's Home for the Holidays. But I wanted to mention Scent of a Woman real quick.
Oh,
which
wow,
is,
yeah.
which
with,
is easily in like
Robert De Niro?
No,
I never thought of that
Al
as
Pacino,
a
that's right.
Thanksgiving film.
Yeah, but it's all
there is
Thanksgiving. It's all Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
And there's a whole Thanksgiving dinner. Like that's kind of the whole.
crazy dinner.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's a crazy dinner. He kind of crashes his brother's Thanksgiving, and he never really sees his family. They all kind of hate him,
Yeah.
and he crashes his brother's Thanksgiving dinner. And it's such a good scene. Al Pacino won his Oscar for this. Finally won an Oscar after having been nominated 7 times.
You know what's funny? I watched that Oscar speech, and he just seems super humble.
Yeah.
Because you watch
Really.
this performance in the film, and it's like this overwhelming performance, and then when you see him like accept this Oscar for this film,
Yeah.
he's just like like fumbling and stumbling, and
Yeah.
he's like this
Yeah.
goofy guy, and you're like, where did all that like certainty,
Confidence,
that
yeah.
confidence come from your character?
Yeah.
But like in real life, you're just like
Yeah, I think finally
dude.
he was like, he'd been nominated so many times. He'd been around for 20 some odd years, and he was just like,
I'm
wow.
never gonna win.
I'm never gonna win. Yeah, probably. He had the list, but I'm not sure he was totally prepared.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. Anyways, that movie. It's Thanksgiving Day
He
weekend.
should have won for Dog Day Afternoon.
He should have won for everything. Godfather 2, Dog Day
Serpico.
Afternoon, and Justice for All, Serpico. He was nominated for all of them.
Yeah.
But this movie he absolutely deserved to win for. He plays Lieutenant Colonel Slade, Frank Slade or whatever, and he is just incredible in it.
Yeah.
He's a blind retired Army officer who's kind of just a bastard. And Chris O'Donnell plays this high school student or whatever who has to basically
like a private
babysit him.
school?
Yeah, it's like a prep school,
Yeah.
private school, though he's not rich. It's a rich school, and he has to basically babysit Al Pacino for the weekend. He gets this little job. He doesn't know him at all, and the family's leaving for Thanksgiving weekend, and he basically hijacks or kidnaps Chris O'Donnell and basically forces him to bring him to New York City, where he stays up the Waldorf Astoria, takes all of his money, all of his pension, put everything in savings, and he's just going to wipe it all out on a crazy weekend in New York.
Yeah.
But it's great. It's a
great film.
really good movie. He is fantastic in it, and it shows the bond between these two people who really don't have anybody. Chris O'Donnell's his family's all the way across the country. He's in a school where he doesn't really fit in. He's not rich like all the other kids. He's kind of got this crazy situation going on at school where he may be kicked out. And Al Pacino's character is just lonely, blind. He's like, I'm in the dark here.
Yeah.
I'm in the dark. And he's like basically he plans to kill himself at the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, but it's the friendship that's forged between these two. They basically save each other.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a scene at the end where Chris O'Donnell's going to go in front of the disciplinary.
You're out of order.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually in Justice for All in the '70s. That was
Oh, what does he
1979.
say?
Now in this one, he goes, "In my younger days, I would have taken a flamethrower to this place."
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
It's all the. I mean, he's got a lot of lines. He goes, "Excuse me? No, I don't think I will."
Yeah.
It's a great scene. There's
Yeah.
this disciplinary hearing at the
Let me watch
school
that
in front of the entire school, and Chris
That's a good
O'Donnell's
scene.
got to be up there, and he's about to be crucified. And Al Pacino comes in the middle of it and gets up there.
He's
and-
got
and
nothing to
defends
lose.
him. He's
It's
got-
so great. He just throws the dean or whatever under the bus and shit. Yeah.
Oh, it's so great. He's like, "You're running a rat ship of snitches." It's so good though. Like literally, it's in my top 10 movies of all time
Yeah.
easily. But it is absolutely a Thanksgiving weekend movie, and it does actually help Al Pacino get closer to his family in the movie. There's scenes of that, but it's more than like family doesn't have to be blood related, and that's kind of one of the messages of this film. There is this like connection where you can forge that kind of bond with somebody who isn't just blood related. Like you can form family
this is
outside.
Way
of that.
too much of the other side of Nick for me. I'm feeling awkward right now. I don't know what to do. But no, that's an incredible film.
Yeah.
They all are. They're all a great film, and I'm excited to share this list with everyone. I think I'm going to watch probably like 3 or 4 of those, and you guys are during the holidays. So, but thank you guys for joining us here at Get to the Podcast. That's Get to the Podcast with the number 2. I'm Tiago D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino,
and I'm Neil Carson.
There's a place
in your heart,
and I know that it is love.
I don't know this song.
It's Michael Jackson. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Eat your turkey. Gobble, gobble.
Why are you roostering,
Gobble,
man?
gobble, gobble, gobble,
Gobble,
Ain't
gobble.
no rooster.
gobble, gobble, gobble.
Get your fowl correct.
You're such a rooster, man.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.